Se o silêncio dissesse tudo, um sentimento bom que me leva pro outro mundo. A vontade de te ver já é maior que tudo. Não existem distâncias no meu novo mundo, tipo coisas da sétima.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Recording this December 27, 2017. This is going to be the last show of the calendar year, 2017. I am rolling down Highway 160, leaving Las Vegas, Nevada, heading back through Nye County. Gonna go drop by, say hello and goodbye real quick to my mother and brother, and head on back to Sunnyvale, California. That's Northern California, San Francisco Bay Area, Silicon Valley to those who are not familiar with the area. It's about a 600-mile drive. I may chime in from time to time on a Periscope or something, I don't know, but probably just going to focus on driving. Got some audiobooks I wanted to listen to, and maybe some podcasts that I want to listen to as well, not just record. So just looking forward to a nice quiet drive. I am accompanied by, in the back seat, I got Bailey, the Wonder Bully. That's my dog. She's 18 months old, so this is our, I guess, first official appearance as my dog on the podcast. She's sleeping in the back, so if you hear snoring or a car engine, either of those two things, you can kind of listen for them interchangeably. It might be the car, it might be the dog. She does snore. She's female, 60 pounds, 18-month-old. She's a blue and white American Bully, so it's a newer breed. It's imagine a pit bull that it's kind of shaped like a coffee table. They're real short and wide, real friendly, great with people, great with kids, real laid-back temperament, not food aggressive, not aggressive with other animals. She's cool, real well trained. She can hang out, off the leash and listens, all that stuff. So great dog. Had her a couple weeks now, and real happy with her. So she's been road tripping with me since what is it now, 23rd or 24th. She's been on the road. I came down to visit some family for Christmas, and it's been a good time. Right before I left, I stopped by Want vs. Need. Stopped by and saw my good friend Al Ligura. Great guy. One of his sponsored black belts, actually, Ryan Bernardino. He's fighting cancer right now, but plans to be back at it by Pan. So he just went through a procedure here recently. Cheers to you, Ryan. He's over at Gracie. I think it's Gracie Umaida. Gracie Academy in Las Vegas. So he's one of the black belt instructors here, and he's actually Al from Want vs. Need first sponsored black belt. So when I was over at Want vs. Need, I was picking up some gis for some friends, for some students and stuff like that. They just had their big collaboration with that brand called Illust. So Illust Jiu-Jitsu and Want vs. Need, a gi, a rash guard, and a hooded sweatshirt. So I was out there, during the launch of the sweatshirt, and man, it was like gangbusters. That is one popular brand right now. I know Show Your Roll is kind of the kingpin when it comes to the real designer type jiu-jitsu gis and stuff. But man, just seeing this his hard work pay off over there at Want vs. Need, it's pretty cool seeing it firsthand. Much love to the guys from Show Your Roll. I've had a chance to check out their headquarters down in Southern California, and they're really cool to me. I have lots of friends that are either sponsored by them or work for them. So I've trained with those guys over at Country Coma as well. So very cool guys, and seeing Want vs. Need up here in the Bay Area, local to us, seeing them kind of get big and get some of that spotlight as well. It's really cool. Al Ligura has been on the podcast before. He's one of the hardest working guys I've seen. He's super passionate about the industry, about his what he does. So just seeing those guys take off the way they have has been really cool. They're shipping stuff nonstop. He's got a kid working for him, CJ. He's cranking out these orders as quick as they come in. I mean, the guy's on point. And seeing them handle a launch when their website's just getting swarmed. They drop a link just to people, a private groups. It's not even a public release; it's a private release, and this thing damn near broke the internet. It's pretty cool to see. Illust on its own it's a big brand. dating back to, Fat Lace, over here in the Bay Area as well, and SoCal. They've always been big with the import car scene, and in jiu-jitsu too now. It's pretty cool. So it's kind of a streetwear brand. I've always liked their stuff. Jason Pizarro, he's sort of the illest jiu-jitsu guy. He's a great guy. He's kind of a Bay Area, San Diego guy. It's always been real cool. So it's nice to see these guys putting in the work, and that it's been paying off. Ryan, who I just mentioned, from Las Vegas, he's their first sponsored black belt, right? He's the first black belt as part of the Want vs. Need team. So it was funny. I was over there, and Al hooked me up with the crew, the Want vs. Need crew rash guard. It's for members of the crew only, right? And it was the last extra large one. It was supposed to be, I guess, Ryan's, or Ryan wanted or something like that. And I'm like, oh man. So I hit him up on Facebook. I'm like, hey buddy, I'm in Las Vegas right now. I got a bum wheel, I got a busted knee, but we got to meet up at some point, get some training in. I'd love to have you on the podcast. And he's healing up as well. So when my knee's better, and when he's basically recovered from cancer surgery, we're gonna get together, do some training, and have him on the podcast. Very cool guy, hard worker as well. Fuck cancer. Sorry for the family-friendly folks out there, but it's a terrible, terrible thing, terrible disease. We got to figure out a way to live better and figure this thing out, right? I know a lot of it's diet. So for me, as diabetic, and the more I learn about sugar and how it's basically in everything. It's an epidemic. It's bad for you. The processed foods, all that stuff. So the more I learn about it, the more I see how adversely sugar affects all of our lives. And it sounds like I only go, this guy's diabetic. Sugar's bad for him, but it's not for me. But it's not true. It's in everything, and it doesn't need to be. The diet we have here as Westerners, with the carbohydrates just being the biggest part of the diet, it's just not good for you. We're not burning off the energy, and you just look at the number of obese people, the number of just people with these heart issues and things like that. It's just it's a real shame. There's a lot of misinformation out there about diet, so it's sugar-free. The Gracie guys, the Gracie diet. It's smart, right? Anyway, man. So Las Vegas, it's hot as hell in the summer, but in the winter, just driving out here in the cold in the middle of the desert, it gets cold as hell. The dog, she'll get out of the car long enough to go to the bathroom begrudgingly. She really doesn't want to, but then she stands there right. You can tell she wants to get right back in that damn car. She's like, all right, we're done here. My mom's got this real big basset hound. It's like she's 12 years old. You can tell she doesn't have too much time left to go. But it was cool seeing my dog and her dog kind of play together in the yard. Man, my dog loves to get dirty. She's a dog. She's not one of these boutique kind of doesn't like to get dirty kind of thing. She'll roll around in the dirt. We have this big patch of ivy in the backyard. She dives in that. She'll run and dive bomb the ivy, and just loves rolling around, just getting dirty. So she's blue, which I mean the dog has gray. The hair's gray. I mean, it's called blue, but if you were to look at the color of the dog, you'd say, oh, your dog's gray and white. Why the hell they call it blue? I don't know. I'm not that smartened up to it. So anyway, my mom lives in the desert, basically. It's the middle of nowhere. She's you have a ridge of mountains surrounding. It's in a canyon kind of thing, but it's nice and warm and dry. It's good for her breathing, good for her health, apparently. She likes being out here in the middle of nowhere. So anyway, the dog's out in running around in the desert in the back of the house, and where people are usually out there, going on four-wheelers, going on quads and stuff, and she just plops down in the dirt. She'll roll around, and she's running, basically kicking up all this dirt, kicking up, making a big, tornado, dust everywhere. And the entire dog's just covered in dirt, and I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna take her ass to the groomer. So personally, I wanted to be able to go to the gym anyway, and I wasn't trying to stick my mom, with dog babysitting duties. It's she's getting up there in age and not really trying to. She's like a 60-pound bully dog, and she's real good with people and everything. But I don't want her having to deal with two large animals, or her basset hound or whatever the hell it is. Hound dog's like 100 pounds. It's too much. So I was able to find a really good groomer in Las Vegas yesterday during the day, and so I dropped her off over there, and they had her for a good 3 hours. So I was able to go and get a nice workout in over 24-hour fatness. That's just what I call it. It's no disrespect. I've had a 24-hour fatness or fitness membership for years. They're quick, they're easy, they're all over the place. And for me right now, you can't do jiu-jitsu with the bum MCL, so it's cool to be able to get on the elliptical. Anything that's straight frontwards and backwards, forward and backward, I'm fine. I'm a savage forward, I'm a savage backward. Side to side, not so much right now. I can't really pivot, can't really do the lateral cuts just yet, but I'm getting there. I'm getting there. I'm working it. I'm trying to, be able to rehab the knee. I want to be able to get out there. I want to be competing by April. I don't. So what happened was at an open mat a few weeks ago over at One World, I was just rolling, hit a patch of sweat. My weight went one way, and my foot went the other way, and pop right there on the basically the inside of my left knee. It hurt a nice pop. And I've had it happen before on the other knee. I knew what it was. I knew what it felt like. I knew what it sounded like. And it hurt like hell, but more than anything, it pissed me off. I actually finished the round. I put all my weight on my right side, and I was like, nope, I'm not gonna crawl off the mat. I'm not gonna be a bitch about this. I'm gonna finish the round. And, it was prideful. It was stupid, but I was just so pissed off that I knew I was gonna have downtime from jiu-jitsu. So man, all right, well, So, by the time I got home, it had really started swelling up. By the next day, it hurt like hell. And then, it took a few days to be able to start pedaling a bicycle. I got the MRI almost immediately. I got a great relationship with my doctor. So I was able to basically, give him a call and say, hey, look, here's what happened. I had a history of knee stuff anyway. And he's like, cool. He put the referral right in for the MRI, and then he saw me, got the results. It's a partial tear right there on the, by the anterior patella. It's a partial MCL tear. So he got me, referred over to an orthopedic specialist, like a knee specialist, I guess, and it got me into physical therapy. So I'm doing that. And what I've learned from these injuries in the past is, taking the PT, the physical therapy stuff like religion. And if you're not religious, like an addiction. And if you're not addicted, take it seriously, is what I mean. You have to really kick ass at it. You have to, like, you're training for worlds, right? You want to take the physical therapy that seriously, the recovery that seriously. So, all the proactive stuff I can think of doing, I'm doing, sans witchcraft or anything like that. So, I definitely went over and hit up my friends at Revivid and got the CBD going immediately. I got the topical, and that works. I believe in CBD. There's data there, there's science there, projectcbd.org. There's probably a lot of misinformation out there as well. There's probably a lot of people, claiming it does a million different things, but in terms of reducing inflammation and promoting the healing and stuff like that, I believe in it. And even if it's just placebo, it feels like it's been doing me so good. It definitely loosened up my knee. When I applied the topical cream, it was like 1,000 milligrams, which is I guess a gram, in this kind of cream container thing. I put it right on the knee, where it was pretty swollen. It brought the swelling down. I was able to move my knee pretty much within 20-30 minutes of applying the cream, much easier with much less pain. So it's to me, as an anti-inflammatory, it works tremendously. Revivid's the one I know. There's probably lots of good brands out there. That's the one I know personally. It's the one I have experience with. A lot of MMA coming up, right? We got Chris Cyborg, Holly Holm on the 30th. Really excited about that fight. Been excited about it for a while now. Chris, Clint Cronin Show alum, right? She's been on the show. That was it was a very big moment for me for the podcast. That's when I was partnered up with my good buddy Cash, who didn't actually say this previously, but he got married. So congratulations to him. It was a little while back, but Cash from Clint and Cash podcast is a married man now. So if you're wondering what he's up to, he's on Instagram still. He's doing his training business. He's kicking ass. So be sure and check him out. Personal trainer, all that stuff. He's still he's over there. I believe the same complex as our good friend Anthony Baker from Omni Physical Solutions, right? So Anthony Baker's been on here a bunch of times. He's kind of motivational speaker, ex-military, ex-marine, jiu-jitsu purple belt competitor, and one of the most charismatic folks you'll ever run across. And yeah, just driving across, it's just a whole lot of kind of nothing. It's pretty, it has its charm. If you ever seen a Roadrunner cartoon, Wile E. Coyote, that whole thing, picture him just running up beside you, holding up that Acme sign, going. Yeah, this town out here, Pahrump, it's got a Walmart, it's got 2 casinos, it's got a Smith's, it's got an Albertsons. If you're from the East Coast, New Jersey specifically, you're going to be familiar with a food called pork roll or Taylor ham. If you don't live in those 2 places, you probably don't know what the hell it is. Well, it's delicious. How about this? It's like the New Jersey version of Spam, kinda. If Spam and maybe like Canadian bacon were to have some kind of twisted love child, it would be pork roll or Taylor ham. It's been around forever. And if I've offended any Canadian bacon or Spam lovers with that comment, I'm sorry. However, it's terrible for you. It's probably horrible for you, so don't eat it. But it's delicious, so eat it. If you know what I'm saying. It's kind of like a breakfast thing in New Jersey. You'd get a pork roll, egg and cheese sandwich, or a pork roll, egg and whatever on an English muffin, and that's kind of a staple in the New Jersey shore, at least in South Jersey. I don't know if they have it in Philadelphia or not, but it's funny. It's in Pahrump, Nevada, which I think it has a population of about maybe a couple thousand people tops. They've got a Smith's grocery store out there, and right over by the area in the grocery store where there's different kinds of cheeses and salamis and stuff, hiding in there is Taylor ham, the actual brand that they sell in New Jersey. And you don't see this stuff unless it's like a specialty store where they're specifically buying stuff from New Jersey. So how the hell they got this out here when I don't even think they have Smith's back in Jersey? It's pretty crazy. My brother told me about it, so man, it's hard not to partake in at least a bite or two. Just because, well, you hear snoring? My dog back there is telling me how entertaining the show's going right now. She's snoring. I think she's worn out from all the excitement of how awesome the story is, right? So pork roll, they got it in Smith's. So if you're from New Jersey and you're living out in California, you're living out in Las Vegas, and you're like, damn, I miss pork roll, head to Smith's grocery store over by the cheese. It's like like an island where all the different kinds of cheeses are. And I don't know much about cheese, but it's the ones you have to cut with a damn knife. Like maybe it's near the brie, or the blue cheese, or the goat cheese or something. Over in that area where you'd get some nice cheese and you'd put it out and make hors d'oeuvres with it. That island of foods, if you were to go in there and kind of look, it was on the bottom shelf, but it was rolls. You got to cut it yourself. So, back in Jersey, there's two types. You'd get it, by the roll, where it's kind of like a log. It comes in plastic. Like anything at the deli, right? You'd have to cut. So there's like little packages like that. The other ones are pre-sliced. So with the pre-sliced ones, sometimes they're too thick, sometimes they're too thin. But when you get it this way, cut it exactly to the thickness you want it. So that's my rant on pork roll in Pahrump, Nevada. If you've lived in the Bay Area, or if you lived in California, you've lived outside of New Jersey and you miss pork roll, you're like, man, if you have a Smith's grocery store, you can get it that way. I know there's online websites where you can order this stuff, and they'll sell you. Another thing we have back in New York, New Jersey, is Sabret hot dogs, which you don't see in a lot of places. So there's websites where they'll sell you Sabret hot dogs, and they'll sell you, the pork roll, the Taylor ham, but they'll charge you an arm and a leg for it. So this is kind of closer to the price you'd pay back if you lived in Jersey or if you lived in one of those areas that actually sells it. Again, this isn't something you want to eat all the time. It's not good for you. It sure as hell isn't organic. But if you were curious as to what this food was, you can find it at Smith's, or if you're in Jersey, you already know what it is. And you've already explained it to everybody that's come to visit. It's just a thing that they don't have really outside of New Jersey until now. But, and then that's my damn story about pork roll. And diabetic guy over here telling you about probably one of the most unhealthy foods you could possibly eat. I still have my abs though, damn it. So if I eat something stupid, I pay for it. I work my ass off, and I do try to keep the carbohydrate intake low. The big thing is breads, right? It's where your blood sugar is going to go up. It's the bread. It's those complex carbs. It's that stuff. I'm not sitting there, eating Milky Ways and stuff like that. For people that don't know, type 1 diabetics, it's a hereditary thing. Type 2 is something you get from eating like shit for too long, basically. And that doesn't sound, all that. That's not the friendliest way to say it, but basically, type 2 diabetes is reversible with diet and exercise and medication, stuff like that. You can get your way back out of that. Type 1 is hereditary. It's something your body doesn't, produce insulin correctly anymore. Basically, you're not able to process sugar or break down sugar, so it just sits in blood, and you're not really getting what you're supposed to get out of your food. There's some evidence that there's a type 3 diabetes as well, Alzheimer's disease, which is also apparently supposed to be reversible as well with diet and exercise, stuff like that. If you look back in the archives, there's a 2-part show I did with Dr. Ernesto Medina, who is it's kind of like a chiropractic neurologist type. He's really on top of all the research as it comes to, when it comes to traumatic brain injury and the brain, the spine, the interaction between the two and that sort of thing. So check out that episode for more on that. I don't want to talk out of my ass like I know what when it comes to the Alzheimer's side of things. I do have firsthand experience with type 1 diabetes, managing it, that type of thing. But I know what the doctor told me I'd have to do in terms of, taking insulin based on, the standard American diet and all this stuff, but based on sort of, my own training, because, and the way I eat and everything like that, I have to take a lot less than was originally anticipated, which is a really good thing. I'm managing it really well. I did my 3-month checkup with my endocrinologist, and it went really well. She told me I'm on top of it, doing everything I'm supposed to be doing, keeping all my different levels in range, on the blood, the labs, and all that stuff. So I'm really excited about that. It's really good news. So, jiu-jitsu literally saved my life this summer. For people who haven't listened in before, I basically didn't know that I was diabetic. So I went all summer just feeling like shit, not knowing that my blood sugar was dangerously high. I had no idea. And the only thing that was bringing it down out of like lethal levels, near lethal levels, was doing the jiu-jitsu training. Because when you burn those calories, you bring your blood sugar down. When you do those hard workouts, it brings your blood sugar down. So jiu-jitsu didn't just save my life, metaphorically, as, it made my life better. It physically saved my life by bringing my blood sugar down when it was dangerously high. Once I finally, was diagnosed and figured out, okay, the reason I'm having to pee all the time and I'm constantly thirsty is because I have this type 1 diabetes, which my father had, and I'm guessing his father probably had it as well. All my dad's brothers and sisters had it. So it's to find out, you're in your 30s that you have this thing, and you've been living your whole life, healthy, pretty, healthy diet, active, training, every day between, the lifting and jiu-jitsu every day, double days most time. People are like, what are you talking about? You're diabetic. It's like, dude, you're healthy, man. You're out there all the time. Like, you work out more than anybody I know. It's like, yeah, doesn't matter. It's hereditary, and it's coming. So type 1, it is what it is. I live with it, but I see it as an opportunity to sort of be a better version of myself. It's like I can't make bad decisions. I can't take shortcuts when it comes to diet. I can't say, well, I'll just have this cheat meal, or I'll just do this, I'll just do that. It's like, no, I have to live optimally. Otherwise, I am directly hurting myself right now and big time in the future. I don't want to lose my vision. I don't want to lose toes or lose a feet, lose a foot rather. That's a real thing. That's a very real possibility or an eventuality if I don't dummy up and get my diet in order. So as soon as I found out, got the correct medication, and started managing it. I checked my blood sugar basically, all day long. The test equipment, the test strips they make you, they had to draw blood to check your blood sugar. It isn't cheap, but I mean, what's cheaper, right? Losing a foot or buying these stupid test strips? I check my blood sugar and I check it off, and just like that guy on horseback, that tells you to check your diabetes. It's all fun and games till it's you, but you got to have a sense of humor with it as well, man. I got it, and it's an opportunity for me to go at 100% and to actually, not have excuses like, my diet wasn't right, so my training, blah, blah, blah. Not bullshit. I have no excuse with my diet to be at 100%. If my diet's at 100%, that means I should be feeling good. That means I should have plenty of energy. It means my training should be at 100%. I take this knee shit seriously. I get back on the mat, April, boom, we're getting more gold medals. I said US Open, I was bringing home gold. US Open, I went there, worked, trained my ass off. Then this was within two months of being diagnosed as a type 1 diabetic. I said I was going to do it. I did it. Did I have the best performance in my life? Hell no. I've been happier with losses I've had over that, that performance at that tournament. But I got a damn gold medal out of it, and I'm going to do it again in April. This MCL is going to be healed. My blood sugar is going to be spot on, and I'm going to do it. Why? Because it's there. Because you live once. Because no one's going to tell me I can't. Right? And no one should tell you can't do things either. Any limitation anybody puts on you or you think is there, it's just an idea. Just about everything that that's out there. I mean, people are investing their whole livelihood in an idea. Bitcoin, it's an idea. The currency is based on data, right? It's based on some encryption stuff that the computer power, the ability to solve these equations it's called mining and whatever. It's just an idea. People decided that a Bitcoin is worth something, and now all of a sudden people were investing in it. It was just an idea. All these cryptocurrencies, just an idea. Shit. There's no gold in the Federal Reserve. There's no silver. The dollar's just an idea. So if people can base their whole lives around these free market and around this Bitcoins and stuff and an idea, that much faith in an idea, if you have an idea that you're going to go out and do a jiu-jitsu tournament and win the goddamn thing, that can be just as powerful. Perception's reality, and seeing is believing, and believing is going out and doing. So if there's something you want to do, go do it. Don't let anybody tell you can't do it, because you can do it. See, you're already thinking about it. The wheels are turning. I'm not some motivational speaker. I'm not telling you anything you don't already know. You'd think that I have arrived someplace by now, but I haven't. I am still driving. See, I would have did a video with this. Could have mounted a nice, dash cam and just cruised on through the desert, but you would honestly be watching a moving wallpaper of a Roadrunner cartoon. I mean, what we could do is maybe make a video of this. I'll just put the Roadrunner cartoons in repeat, or just a desert scene in repeat, and it'll be about the same thing, because there hasn't been anything exciting out here since Star Wars. guess it's a controversial Star Wars. I saw it courtesy of Intel, so thank you to Intel for inviting me along and having me there to watch Star Wars. It was a lot of fun. I guess Mark Hamill wasn't very happy with how he was portrayed as Luke Skywalker and something like that, and people were bummed out about it. I thought it was a good movie, not a great movie. It's a good movie. It's a long movie. I don't care enough to sit there and harp on it. I guess people are petitioning and all this sort of thing, and it's a movie. I know Disney's really kicking ass right now. They picked up a big piece of the Fox Corporation, so the Marvel Cinematic Universe is now going to have access to all the stuff that was licensed to Fox. So all the Fantastic Four, I guess, the X-Men, all that stuff. They already have Spider-Man, which is a kind of Sony owns the movie rights to that. So it's going to be interesting, in the movies. It's going to be cool. It's a cool time to be a comic book fan for the Marvel side of things. For DC, the movies are all right. The animated ones are better. For DC right now, the sweet spot is the comic books. DC comic books, the actual written comic books, are just some of the most entertaining, best storytelling that I've seen in ever. They're combining new ideas with stuff from back in the day, and it's just awesome. The DC Rebirth line of comics, the Metal, the stuff with that Scott Snyder's doing with Batman, and Justice League and all that stuff with Metal, and then you got what's the other thing called, the Doomsday Clock. So they brought the Watchmen characters in and mixed them up with Superman and the Justice League, and they're doing this crazy event called Doomsday Clock, and the writing's just been awesome. I've been picking those up from Comics Conspiracy. I've been on their podcast a couple times now. They're one of these big time comic book podcasts, but they're also a shop in Sunnyvale. And so my good friend Ryan Higgins over there, he's in the know with the DC folks. The guy reposted some jack-o'-lanterns I carved one time. They were the Green Lantern and the Yellow Lantern logos, and he reposted them, and all the DC Comics guys know them, so they reposted them. So I'm looking, and all of a sudden this tweet has got thousands and thousands of views and freaking hundreds of retweets and all this stuff, and I'm like, well, what the hell? Aren't those? I was like, yep, those are my Halloween pumpkins. It was kind of ridiculous. It was like, you do all this content for a damn podcast, and you do all this jiu-jitsu, you go out there and you're actually fighting people in this, in a gi, and, popping limbs and tearing ligaments.
Northwest on Nevada 160 west of the Rump Valley Road toward Tacoma Avenue.
That's our Google navigation.
In a quarter mile at the traffic circle, take the third exit onto East Calvada Boulevard South.
There we go. All right, I know where I'm at. I don't need that anymore, I don't think. Apologies. Our good friend from Google had to just kick in right there and tell us where we're going. Anyway, the comic book stuff from DC is amazing right now. The movies, Marvel's got it. I've heard mixed things about how the Avengers movie's going to be. It's probably going to be a lot of fun. They're leaning more towards the humor side of things, it seems, lately, right? With the Thor movie with the Incredible Hulk, the Ragnarok. It was kind of a comedy gimmick. It was a comedy movie. It was fun. They're getting more family friendly kind of stuff. I'm guessing the new Deadpool movie is going to be R-rated. I'm not sure how that's going to go with Disney owning it, because Disney so the Deadpool movie, the people that don't know, it's a Marvel character. So Disney owns Marvel, but Disney did not have the movie rights to Deadpool or the X-Men characters until very recently. Fox did. Most of you guys probably already know this. So Fox took a big chance, and they made this R-rated Deadpool movie, which is the highest grossing R-rated movie of all time, which is a pretty damn big accomplishment. So Disney being Disney, I don't know if they're gonna be too thrilled to jump on board and do an R-rated Deadpool movie, but I mean, success is success, and I don't know. Maybe you guys could tell me, how many R-rated movies has Disney been a part of? I mean, do they do them? Is that a thing as a company they do? Because I mean, that's Mickey Mouse. It's a small world after all that stuff. I don't know if they actually do R-rated movies. Somebody, clarify that for me. I know there's a lot of big Disney fans out there and stuff, so maybe somebody could smarten me up to the fact, whether or not they do. Man, this may wind up being a little bit shorter. I may break this up into a couple different parts. Man, it's weird out here. I'm in town in Pahrump, and there's this park right here, and at all times, it is 15 mile an hour, right? Whether there's kids present or not. So there's a baseball diamond, it's a park over here, which I get it. I'm not trying to, run over anybody. But, usually you'd say like 15 miles an hour in a school zone, but it could be 4 o'clock in the morning, and your ass had better been doing 15 miles an hour, because people do get pulled over in the middle of the night going faster than 15 miles an hour in front of this park. There's no houses, it's just, there's a park over here. But I guess they're just, real strict on the speed limit here. So I'm crawling through at 15 miles an hour, which feels weird because just, people playing in a baseball field, and you're like creeping by at 15 miles an hour, and it just feels kind of awkward because people are just staring at you like, damn, that guy's driving 15 miles an hour, but I ain't trying to get pulled over. Doing 15 miles an hour to talking to myself as we're doing the podcast here on the illustrious Clint Cronin Show. I think I should tell you guys. I think I should. Our good friend Billy Hong, the Immortal Choke, famed cartoonist, video production guy, multi-talented producer of many things media related, has created my likeness twice now. So I've been on the Immortal Choke twice, which is amazing. I'm a cartoon. I mean, I always felt pretty cartoonish to begin with, but now I'm officially a cartoon. Like, I have a character. I'm immortal. I'm immortally choked. I'm all choked up immortally, which is pretty awesome. But on top of that, I was talking to Mr. Immortal Choke himself. And I was talking to him about an idea I had for a t-shirt. And I showed him some stuff, and I'm like, this is what I'm thinking. And he said, I want to do it. I'm gonna do it. I think I can pull this off. So I got a new logo gonna debut very soon for my jiu-jitsu and sort of podcasting endeavors, right? And that logo, the original concept, was Al Lagura from Want vs. Need. And then the finishing touches and the actual t-shirt mock-up was done by Immortal Choke. So it's like a collaboration, like Clint Cronin Show, Immortal Choke, Want vs. Need. This is just friends helping friends. And when you guys see these shirts, no, I mean, they're sick. And it doesn't even need to have my name on it for me to be like, I'd wear it anyway. Of course I'm gonna wear it. But like, I don't want to wear anything else now. Like, these are dope. It's just a really cool idea. And it was just something that I saw in my mind, I thought of, but I don't have that artistic touch in terms of putting down a paintbrush and drawing something, but these guys are artists. These guys are tremendous. And I was able to verbally convey this idea, and these guys were able to come up with something amazing. So I'm pretty stoked about it. So I think the first shirt is going to be out, within the month. And we'll have some gi patches as well. They'll be in limited quantities. I'll make sure and put them online. They'll probably be on the Instagram, maybe on Snapchat. I'm at Clint Cronin, by the way. If you guys aren't following me already, you guys should follow me, because I'll follow you guys back. So we're all friends here, right? Cronin Club for life. Anyway, I just arrived at my family's house here. I gotta take Bailey, the Wonder Bully, over here for a walk. She's awake now. She knows where she is, and gonna go get her some food as well. It's been a pleasure yapping at you guys. I have a 600-mile drive ahead of me. I may crank out more content, more another episode. I might just yap. Something's on my mind. I might just, start spilling my guts on the road. I might do some live streaming. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, it's been a quick, 40-minute show. Thanks to everybody for subscribing, for listening, for sticking with me through another podcast. And thank you, my friends. And you are my friends for listening. I'm Clint Cronin. This is my podcast. And if you're in the Bay Area, come through, aka Sunnyvale, One World Jiu-Jitsu. You're always welcome. Open mat at One World Jiu-Jitsu, 5:30 p.m. every Sunday night. It should be part, if you're thinking about coming to the Bay Area, Sunday night, One World Jiu-Jitsu, 5:30 p.m., 60, 70 people, easy. It's the place to be. My classes are 6:30 a.m. every Wednesday and Friday at aka Sunnyvale. Come through, say what's up. We'll grind it out in the cold. All right. For everybody that's been a part of it this year, and for me, thank you. Happy New Year. Happy holidays. Merry belated Christmas. Happy belated Hanukkah. Happy Kwanzaa. Happy Festivus for the rest of us. You guys enjoy the holiday with your family. Be safe. Have fun. And I will catch y'all's asses down the road. Thanks.